This is the front view, and just over on the passenger side is the oil pan. There's the plug there. It's a 17mm socket or wrench, whatever you prefer. I'm gonna try to get the pan up under here. This car is pretty easy to change oil on. It's not, doesn't make a big mess like some do. Broke it loose. Oil filter. It's inside this casing. I have a 27mm socket for that. I'm gonna take that off. If I can set this. It wasn't too bad. It's a 12-point socket though. I prefer the 6-side socket. But if that's not too tight, if you didn't put it on too tight to start with, it'd be all right. But if you're not careful, the 12-point will round that cap off. And we'll loosen this up so it can get some air and it'll completely drain. I'm just going to leave that in there for just a second. Make sure all the oil drains out of it. And I'll be back in just a second. Alright, I'm back. I wanted to show you, I started filming before or recording or rather. When you pull this off, be real careful. I hold that over the top for a second. You can see where that oil came out of the cap. Since I've wiped it off, and then I wanted to show you the paper filter that these things come with. And it's got a little tit right there that goes in a specific space. So basically just wiggle it carefully. It's not fragile, you know, but you don't want to just rip it right out. Whatever. That's off to the right. So when I go back with the new one, it's already got a rubber gasket on the little tit thing, so I put that off to the right, just like that. You can see down in there the hole that it goes in off to the right side. So basically it's at if you're looking at it like it's a clock, it's going to be like 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. And then firmly just wiggle it. Now these things will crush. You don't want to mash down a whole lot, but I'm just wiggling as I'm pushing down and I'm making sure it's seating down in there first. And then again, that is basically center right there. There's a O-ring right here. Pretty simple, two-handed anyway. Residue from the oil. Put some on that O-ring so it can, you know, seat better. And then stick that on there, and that center, that hole is smaller, so it's going to have to push down in there a little bit. But just some firm pressure, it'll snap right in there. And then start it with your fingers. You don't want to cross thread that with a ratchet or anything. Okay, it started pretty good with my fingers. And we're going to snug it up with the ratchet. I'm just doing this one-handed. I have no idea what the torque specs are for this, but pretty much hand tight. See, I just bottomed out right there. Basically hit plastic and sealed off. I'll turn just a little bit more. You know? Alright. That's tight enough on that. We'll wipe it off and make sure it's good and clean so we can tell if we have any leaks later. And then I'm gonna get up under there and install the drain plug with the new crush washer and be right back. Thank you. Okay, I put the new drain plug in. Torque specs on that are, I just go finger tight, run it up snug, use the ratchet, and just want to snug it up. You know, I've only done a couple of videos, but if you keep watching my videos, you'll hear me say on anything that I do, tight's tight and broke is broke. So just a little tighter than snug. You know, feel it. You don't want to wring it off. You can tell. Notice on the oil cap here, it says SAE 5W20, and that's what we're going back with on our oil. Okay, I'll put 5 quarts in. Try to do this without making a mess. We'll see. I've given it about 2 or 3 minutes to run down into the motor. I haven't cranked it yet. And that dark line, that's not the oil. That's not the oil line. That's just a dark line on the rod for some reason. If you can see, the end of it's right there at that full dot. So 5 quarts, filled it up. Like I say, I hadn't cranked it yet, but anytime it's sitting overnight or for an hour at a time, it's going to get down to that level. So it's full with 5 quarts. And basically that's it. I'm going to clean up my mess, recycle.